All right, in the meantime, David Stockman is here, one of the best and most highly respected economic, financial minds I know, and 1 week ahead of our big Fox Business debate with all the major Republican presidential candidates. I would imagine Mr. Stockman would be itching to get in there and get some questions in on our debt and deficit. Ronald Reagan's former budget director and overall financial whiz with us now. It's the subject no one's talking about, right? Our debt, our obligations.
Obviously, and unfortunately, I think the Republican Party is broken, dysfunctional, and useless when it comes to conservative economic policy. And by that, I mean fiscal rectitude, getting our 19 trillion debt under control, monetary soundness. The Fed is out of control. Free market capitalism, we've lost sight of it. Why? The Republican Party has been basically hijacked by big government neocons who are only concerned about the Pentagon budget and making it bigger and are willing to trade anything in domestic policy to support their foreign wars and interventions. We saw that last week in the total capitulation, once again, on the debt ceiling. The social cons basically don't understand it's not the government's business what goes on in your bedroom, and are so obsessed by this immigration thing and building walls and policing every employer in the country about whether he's hiring someone who's legal or not, that they're missing the boat and they're unelectable. So if you have a party of big government neocons and unelectable social cons, the true free market conservatives, the non-interventionists, the small government budget balancers, are out in the cold.
But do you think they also, David, look at polls? I mean, those who bash the Federal Reserve, bash all of its $4 trillion balance sheet and all the rest, they've not been rewarded in the polls for doing so. And I'm not saying that's a justification for not saying anything or doing anything, but there's no upside, political upside.
I kind of disagree with that. In fact, strongly disagree with that. Because you have to bash the Fed the right way. And
how would you do it?
I would say the war on savers has to stop. If people have spent a lifetime scrimping and saving and thrifting and now can earn 30 basis points in their retirement, nothing, on a couple $100,000 worth of savings. In fact, if you saved $250,000 in 40 years of work, you're getting interest equal to 1 Starbucks cappuccino a day. Wow. That's what you're getting. Now, I would say...
So tap that rage.
I would say tap that rage, because there are tens of millions of savers who are being crushed, who don't want to buy junk bonds, who don't want to go into the Wall Street casino that's back raging again today because the machines...
But which of the candidates speak for them?
Which candidates speak for them? I was hoping that Rand Paul would. He's tried to, but his voice is lost in the pack. Maybe Ted Cruz did a little bit last time when finally they brought Rick Santelli on to ask a relevant question about the fundamental issue of this election, and that is, are we going to have a democracy, or are we going to be controlled by a monetary Politburo of 12 people who sit in Washington and run the entire financial system?
Well, that would appear to be the case for the time being. So I guess then the issue becomes, what do we do about it? If we're ignoring this debt, if we're ignoring all the Federal Reserve propping everything up, then what?
Well, I think we're heading for the wall. What they're ignoring in Washington is that despite their arrogant belief they control everything, they have not repealed the business cycle. We're in month 77 of this so-called expansion.
It's getting long in the tooth.
It's long in the tooth, and beyond that, now that they've done this 2-year cop-out deal, it means they won't...
2-year budget deal that suspends
the 2-year suspends the caps, suspends the debt ceiling. It means we won't get to the issue again until 2017. There's a lag in this process. You won't be able to affect the real cash flow of the budget till 2019 or 2020. That's 100 months or more into an expansion.
And what do you make of why this
never happened before?
I hear you, David, but that the Fed would sit this out. Donald Trump raised an interesting argument today that this is all politicized and that Janet Yellen is doing the White House's bidding. I want you to respond to this.
In my opinion, Janet Yellen is highly political, and she's not raising rates for a very specific reason, because Obama told her not to, because he wants to be out playing golf in a year from now, and he wants to be doing other things, and he doesn't want to see a big bubble burst during his administration.
What do you think of that?
Well, Obama didn't have to tell her. He's right directionally. Janet Yellen is a big government, interventionist, Keynesian liberal, and she believes that giving people free money indefinitely is somehow going to cause wealth to expand and economic growth to happen.
But she's not the only one. Her argument and others have been, I see what you're saying, is that we don't have the room to raise interest rates in a world like we've got right now. It's still tenuous. She might change that view next month, but what do you think of that argument?
Well, I think it's nonsense. It's baloney. I mean, the interest rate in the money market is the cost of money in a capitalist system. They've had it at zero now for 82 months, and they're threatening to go another 6 or 7 till next March. When you have free money for 90 months, you are sowing the whirlwind of speculation like you have never seen before. And that's why these markets careen around the way they do. This isn't price discovery anymore. This isn't allocation of efficient capital. This is just one giant casino that's fueled by free overnight money that the people who run the Fed are afraid to death that if they allowed the market to set interest rates, there would be a hissy fit on Wall Street, and the world would come to an end.
So the markets are calling the tune here.
The speculators are calling to the tune. The people who believe the market has to go up day in and day out, every hour, come hell or high water, and do anything, sacrifice any principle of sound economics. If we need to have a bigger budget deficit to goose the economy, let's have a deficit.
It's cheap to keep, you know.
Yeah.